Hi everyone, this is Cheryl with the almost daily dose at the sewing basket. Today is Friday, May 15th, and we're just going to do a little talk about the different sprays for fabric and fabric prep type of products. So the one that most of you are probably the most familiar with is the Best Press by Mary Ellen, and it comes in 9 different scents. We call them flavors. We carry 3. We carry the unscented, the Caribbean Beach, and the Lavender Fields. There are some other ones that if you prefer those, we can order either the half gallons or the gallons for you, but we only carry these 3 in the bottles in the store. We also carry the gallon size of these 3 flavors, so if you have an empty bottle, you can bring your bottle in and then we'll refill it and you get $1 off the price for that. Just a little bit about the product. Yeah, everybody's been using it for a lot of years, but there may be some things that you didn't know or you forgot. One of the things that they suggest on here, which most of us don't do, is to prevent any sort of spotting, try to start with a clean iron before you use the product. And one of our favorite products for cleaning your iron is the Iron Clean Sheets by Bonash. My pen is coming in. The way these sheets work, there's a type of a conditioner on here. They almost look like a dryer sheet, and you're going to place them on your ironing board, but you want to have some sort of a protective layer between your sheet and your ironing board. And then you're going to have a hot iron. Mine's not hot for this demo, but you can see you get those brown buildup and different things on your iron, especially if you've been working with a heat and bond or some sort of a fusible product. And so with a hot iron, you're going to you can just rub it in a circle and back and forth. This will start to turn brown, but you can use it multiple times if you want to. If you have some really tough spots, you're going to put it kind of on the edge of your ironing board so you can really kind of rub that edge and get those spots off. It's a great product. I keep them right by my ironing board if I'm working with some sort of fusible and I get it on there. Before you let the iron cool down and that hardens up, I just grab one of these sheets and I try to clean it right away while it's still hot and not set in. Yeah, the other thing is when you use any of these products, there is always going to be somewhat of a buildup, so it's a really good habit to get into cleaning your iron just like you clean your sewing machine and different things on a regular basis. So, once a week or once a month, grab one of these sheets and just give your iron a good clean. It'll help you out in the long run from having those dark spots, because they always come off when you're working with the white fabric, right? So that is the Mary Ellen's Best Press. What this is, it's a starch alternative. So typically, a standard starch that all of our grandmothers and mothers used is a natural product based off of vegetables. So cornstarch, potato starch, different items like that. This is a starch and a sizing combination. So the difference between starch and sizing, starch is meant to stiffen, sizing is meant to give it some extra body and a softer hand. Starch is 100% vegetable natural product. The sizing combines the natural vegetable product along with some plastic synthetic products to give it that little bit of softness. So this is kind of a combination of the starch and the sizing together. When you're spraying it, you're just going to mist it on your fabric. Ooh, I got to open it up. And see how sometimes it comes out kind of thick and hard? What you find is if you shake the bottle and you get lots of those little bubbles in there, it's going to come out in a little bit softer. Well, this one isn't.
Sorry for 1 second. We're having some people say they can't hear.
Okay.
We're going to just see if this makes a difference. Put that on and just see if that makes a difference. I can hear it just fine here on our computer, but there's a couple people who said they can't.
Okay. All right. So we'll try again. I don't know if I need to repeat anything.
It might have just been real quiet.
Okay.
Can people hear now?
Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me now? Oh, okay. So this one, when you shake the bottle, it kind of, those bubbles in there kind of settle or make it a little bit, I'm hearing myself over on the computer. When you shake the bottle, it makes the liquid kind of settle in a little bit. So when you spray it, it comes out not quite as globby than if you just grab it and spray. Okay, I guess we're good. So just one of the little tricks when you use this. The other thing we've just gotten in, which is going to give you even a nicer spray, is these little bottles. We have them with some cute little sayings on them, and then we also have just the solid white bottle. So, you know, the cute ones are $15.99 and the white one is $8.99. So of course, you know, you got to pay for cute, right? But this one is going to give you, I'm going to hold it up, it's going to give you a real fine mist. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that.
I can see it.
Okay. And so it just is, again, it's not going to give you that globby on your fabric. It also is going to be a little more economical because you won't be using quite as much of the best press every time. One of the other nice things about the best press versus traditional starch is that traditional old-fashioned starch, it would leave a shine on your fabric or it would start to flake off, and you won't get that with this product, nor will you have the problem with bugs getting into your items if you store them. Those bugs are after that starch from the natural product. So they're smelling corn and potatoes in your grandmother's cedar chest, where this is not going to attract the bugs like a natural starch is going to do. So that's just a couple of the starch products that we have. Then the other thing we have, for some people who don't have a lot of space in their sewing room, we have this little product, and it's a holder for your spray bottles that goes onto your ironing board. So this little part comes off, and if you push this button in, you can slide this part up and down. So you can get it, you can hook it onto your ironing board, get it set in there nice and tight, and then you slide this back on, and then it's going to fit whether you have one of the little decorative mist bottles or your best press bottle. These will fit in there. It also comes with a bottle of its own. But, oops. It's real handy to keep your spray right next to you, but not on the ironing board because we have other things and it's fallen off and things like that. So this is just a nice little accessory for in your sewing room for your ironing products. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about are fabric prep items. So this is when you want to prep your fabric for using it, whether it's with your embroidery machine to have your fabric be a little bit stiffer. A lot of people are using it if you have the die cutting machines, so the Sizzix, the Cricut, the Scan and Cut from Brother, any of those cutting machines for fabric. If you don't prep your fabric, the blade will kind of pull on the fabric and not cut it as neat and clean. I gotta grab it. So I had taken this piece of fabric, which was just the way it came off the bolt, and then I've prepped a piece of it with each one. So you can see how it makes it pretty stiff, okay, almost like paper. And so I tried each product. This one wanted me to just spray the fabric and kind of rub it a little bit and then put a piece of parchment paper over the top and iron it until it was dry. There was a little more of an odor to it, and it was a little bit stickier on my hand. However, it did make my fabric even stiffer and almost a little more paper-like. Okay, can you grab me a scissors? Okay, with the Material Magic,
Is that big enough?
Yeah. So with this one, if I take it, I can cut it and it's almost going to rip just like a paper would, and you can kind of hear how stiff it got, and it seals it enough that you really don't get a lot of pull or a lot of threads hanging off after you tear it. Okay, both of these products will wash out, so you don't have to have this stiffness, won't stay in there, but this one was a little bit heavier and it might cut a little better. On the negative side, you did have a little bit of odor and a little more sticky. With the Terrio Magic, she worked really hard to make it an all-natural product, so there's not much odor. It's totally non-toxic. Her method was you really need to soak the fabric, so she wants you to like put it in a plastic bag, soak it down, put it in a plastic bag, and sit for 10 minutes so that those fibers really soak up the product. And then you put it on your ironing board. She didn't tell you to put the parchment paper over it, but I did, just to protect my iron from the product. And again, I ironed it. It wasn't quite as stiff, but it still will rip. But I did find that with this one, I still get some edges that will come off. But it will help your product going through any of your cutting machines. It also, if you're doing some embroidery, tack and trim, or where you just you pre-cut your shape out and you lay it in there, it's just going to make your fabric be a little bit stiffer and easier to trim up when you're embroidering. And then when you're done, you can wash the products and it'll wash right out and it'll go right back to the same feel as the regular fabric was prior to starching it. Okay. So I hope you just learned a little bit about the different products that we have, why you use them, when you use them, and maybe some tips on things that you've had around for a long time that, you just needed a little reminder on. Reminder for us what's going on here. Even though we've had the change with the Supreme Court letting everybody open up as much as they want, we have decided to stay with the recommended like they did at the beginning of the week. So we are still going to limit to 5 people in the shop. We are going to require that you wear a mask and that you sanitize your hands at the door when you come in. We have a pump of Purell at the door. We do request that you don't wear gloves. We won't make you take them off, but you can't really sanitize your gloves the way you can sanitize your hands. So we prefer that you don't wear gloves, that you just sanitize when you come in. And then we're also giving you a little number tag so we can keep that number right around that five person. We might, if somebody walks up and we have 6 in here, it'll be okay, but we really want to try to keep it at 5. We're not going to let a large group of people in all at the same time. Our hours are going to be 10 to 3 Monday through Friday through the end of this month. So we will not be open on Saturdays, and we're trying to do that 10 to 3. Sometimes we're here a little bit early, but we got other things that we're trying to get done. So we're making the appointments work really well for us right now to kind of control that crowd. So if you know you're coming, especially from out of town, go on to the website, sewingbasket.biz, and schedule your appointment. That way you're guaranteed a spot to come in the door when you get here, and you don't have to worry about having to wait outside if we have too many people in the store at that point.
And if you're coming in a group, each of you should book an appointment. It's
right.
One person per appointment. So if there's 3 of you coming together,
right.
All 3 of you book the same time.
Yeah, you can't just book one and then say, oh, my 2 friends came with. Just go on and book one for Mary, one for Sue, one for Jenny. You'll be able to all come in together at the same time then. Other than that, I think we are off for the weekend. Everybody have a great time. It should be a beautiful weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Bye.
Bye-bye.